Yeah, I think we are online. We are live. Shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Well, I welcome you all on this 7th day of the online classes which are being conducted for MA Part 1 first semester for the program prescribed by Nagpur University from the year 2020-21. For the resource person for this session is Dr. Manjushri Sardesh Pandey, ma'am, who is always busy. And again, tomorrow she is having a national webinar in her college for which she is the organizer. In spite of all this busy schedule, she is here with us. I welcome ma'am on behalf of the organizers. Ma'am has a 29 years of teaching experience. At present, she is heading the Department of English at R.S. Mundle, Dharampet Arts and Commerce College. Her poem, she is a well-known poet, and her poem, Man Fears Man, was prescribed for the Standard 10th of State Education Board of Maharashtra. 3 students have been awarded PhD under her supervision. She has made a mark in the field of translation too. Her translation of Sri Rangahari's book, that is Dharma and Culture, has been well received everywhere. She has been a resource person in number of training programs for teachers, particularly junior college teachers. She has authored 4 textbooks for Master's Program of English, which are prescribed at Chandigarh Open University, with 2 e-teacher scholarship in her bag from US, United States of America. She has completed a minor research project sponsored by the UGC. She is chairperson of English Language Committee, Textbook and Bureau of Bal Bharati, Pune, and a BOS member at various universities and autonomous colleges. I welcome ma'am again on behalf of the organizers and hand over the mic to her for presentation. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank Kapil sir. Yes, he rang me up. He asked me whether I was really, whether I had time to participate in this MA program. And we all teachers are basically engaged in so many activities. This month is full of activities. We are preparing papers, then we have to upload our AQR and AQAR, and like so many things are lined up. And but you know, this activity is, I think, one of the best activities as far as collaborative teaching learning is concerned, because it has helped students even from the rural areas. Yes, we talk about Nagpur district only, wherein our course is being taught. And you know, right now the situation is so frightening. Corona has reached our houses. Our near and dear ones are affected. We really cannot move out. And at this time, I think it is a boon for the students to sit at home and listen to the lectures, which are really going to help them. So I think this collaborative teaching learning activity is one of the best, and I congratulate the participating colleges and the principals who have been so enterprising, and they have really all these 4 colleges have organized this MA program enthusiastically. Kapil sir and Karthik sir have been conducting this program very enthusiastically. At the outset, then, I would like to thank the principals of the 4 colleges, Dr. Sunetra Maharaj Madam from Vasantrao Naik Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences. Then Dr. Urmila Dabir, Rajkumar Keval Ramani College. Bhagdikar Madam, Vandana Bhagdikar from Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Vikas Domne sir from J.M. Patel College. I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to present this lecture for MA Semester 1 students. So right away, I would like to begin my lecture, and for that, I would start sharing my screen. So today we are going to deal with The Mistress of Spices. Yes, it is by Chitra Banerjee Divakurani. And when we talk of Mistress of Spices, what comes to your mind? Yes, children, what comes to your mind when you talk of Mistress of Spices? Now, when you talk of spices, you feel when we say, yes, this has, please spice this up, means make it more interesting. So spice makes things interesting, makes things valuable. It talks of enrichment. So it is the mistress of spices, So what do you understand by mistress of spices? Now, she's mistress of spices. First of all, spices are so important. And then she is mistress of spices. So she governs the spices. She controls the spices. Okay. So we'll talk more about the topic, the title of the novel, as and when we proceed and deal with the novel. So let us start with Mistress of Spices. It is a diasporic fiction. And now again, what do you mean by a diasporic fiction? First of all, what do you mean by a diaspora? Now, diaspora, it is a group of people who spread from one original country to other countries, or the act of spreading in this way. Now, we are very familiar with this term, I think, diaspora. Nowadays, everybody knows what diaspora is. You know that our Indian people have settled in US, our people have settled in UK. So now the people who have gone and settled there, they are now the diaspora, Indian diaspora. We will call them the Indian diaspora who have settled in the UK. So in UK, they'll be called as Indian diaspora. Okay, so these are a group of people who spread from the original country. Their country of origin is India, but now they have settled in UK and US. Children, there are so many words which are, very near to this. And for as we say, English is a very rich language, and we have so many different terms for people migrating from one place to another. Now, people who are moving from one place to another itself means migration. Okay, people going, so that activity which involves movement from one country to another. See, migratory birds who migrate from one place to another, it involves long distance also. But here, so that act is called migration. Again, when we talk of refugees, okay, refugees also come and settle in, but they are forcefully sent. So refugees are forcefully sent. Maybe they go to another country, they go to the neighboring countries, they seek shelter in the neighboring countries. Why? Due to war, maybe due to violence, due to persecution. So there are so many things because of which they move to a different place. They move to the neighboring country. So, these are small differences, but you should know the small difference between all these terms. So diaspora, nowadays people go in search of jobs, they settle there in different countries. So these people are diaspora. These people who are from a different origin, and when they go and settle in a particular place, they become the diaspora. So Indian diaspora in US, Indian diaspora in UK, Indian diaspora in Africa or Australia. Okay. Then we move on to the some of the terms which have been prescribed for the background study. Now, all these things are important, and they will be covered. The aspects will be covered in the novel also, so that you get a better understanding of these terms. Now, what do you mean by acculturation? Okay, acculturation, something to do with culture. Now, what do you mean by acculturation? See, I have written the definition, but you have to pay attention to some of the words here. Acculturation can be defined as the process of learning and incorporating the values, beliefs, language, customs, and mannerisms of the new country immigrant and their families are living in, including behaviors that affect health, such as the dietary habits, activity levels, and substance use. Now, look at the words here. It is a process of learning and incorporating. Okay, so acculturation. So, when does an acculturation take place? Now, for example, just now we talked about the diaspora, Indian diaspora. Now, when they go to a foreign country, then they learn their values. So when they learn their values, again, I'm going to make a small difference. So that's why I'm focusing on this particular thing, learning, process of learning and incorporating the values. So what all things do they need to learn? Because now they have moved to a foreign place. So they need to learn, and as it is, they learn the values, the beliefs, the language. Definitely it is going to be different. For example, if a person moves from India to US, so he has his traditions with him, he has his values, he has his own beliefs, but when he goes there, he needs to learn the language of that country, the customs, the mannerisms, totally maybe. And as far as the Eastern and Western countries are concerned, there is a total, what you say, it is East to West. That is a total change in values, beliefs, language, everything. So they have to learn. So when they learn, it is a process of learning and incorporating. So they go there, they incorporate all the culture, the language, they start speaking their language, they follow their customs and they adopt their mannerisms. So, you know, when they do this, it is called acculturation. It is acculturation. Okay. So, but it is, again, when I talk about cultural hybridity, I'll tell you the difference between acculturation and cultural hybridity. Okay. Now here, Japanese people dressing in, I've given some examples. Japanese people dressing in Western clothing. Now here, even in India, we know that we've been ruled by the Britishers for nearly 200 years. And so we have also incorporated, we have learned so many, we have adopted so many mannerisms, we have adopted their dressing sense also. Yes, nowadays we wear shirts and pants and all the Western clothing here. So there has been acculturation, there has been taking in, incorporating of values, beliefs, customs here also. So it is the process of cultural change that occurs when individuals from different cultural backgrounds come into. Now here, the English people, they were in contact with the Indian people for such a long time that they also learned so many things from India. Okay, but when our people go and settle in foreign countries, they also learn the culture over there. And such, now in US, there are so many people from different cultures settling there. So it is the cultural change that occurs when individuals from different cultural backgrounds come into prolonged, continuous first-hand contact with each other. Okay, so this is acculturation. You will have to write short notes on all these topics. They carry 5 marks, so you have to know the definition, and you can give an example also. Now we talk of cultural hybridity. Now, what is cultural hybrid? The word hybrid itself tells you it's a mixture, okay, combination. So even in agriculture, we use hybrid hybrid combination of two varieties. Okay, so cultural hybridity constitutes the effort to maintain a sense of balance among practices, values, and customs of two or more different cultures. So when our people go there, they have to maintain a balance. And it is their effort to maintain a balance between the English culture and the Indian culture. They cannot do away with the Indian culture. They are born with the Indian culture. So, you know, and they have to maintain a balance. So actually it is a cultural hybridity. Now, what is that small difference? You know, I'll say that the first generation which goes there, maybe they start learning, they start incorporating the culture, but the children who are born there, of the parents of Indian origin, they are they are maybe cultural, they have this cultural hybridity because, they are born and they have these two cultures together. They see the two cultures mingling together at home. They see the two cultures side by side. So it is the cultural hybridity in such homes, they maintain the Indian tradition also, and they have the English tradition also, as far as UK, US, I'm talking about. So this is cultural hybridity. Hybridity. So it constitutes the effort to maintain a sense of balance. So hybridity in cultural globalization has been used to refer to mixture of cultural forms. Okay. So this is about cultural hybridity. Now, what is multiculturalism? Multiculturalism itself tells you, the word itself tells you multiculturalism. So we are talking about many cultures. So in US now, you know that there are people settling, people of Chinese origin settling there, people of Indian origin settling there, people of different countries settling there. So it is a multicultural place. Now it has become a multicultural place. So where many cultures coexist at the same time. So multiculturalism is the coexistence of diverse cultures. So there are many cultures where cultures include racial, religious, or cultural groups and is manifested in customary behaviors, cultural assumptions, values, patterns of thinking, and communicative styles. So everything changes. A person, look at if you are staying in a village, so that village will have only, like, it will be a very, what do you say, conservative place. It will have only one type of culture, one type of one pattern of thinking. But as you move from village to a city, in city there are diverse, there are various different kinds of people. Okay, so maybe not from the community to which the village people belong, but there are different communities. So again, the pattern of thinking will change as we move on from villages to cities. The thinking changes, and when we move on from the cities to from one country to another country, the whole culture changes. And when we talk of so many people from different cultures staying together, then you can say we can take something from the Japanese culture, we can take something from the American culture, we can take something from the Indian culture, and now it has happened. We are learning so many things from different cultures. So it is everywhere now, due to globalization, everywhere there is multiculturalism. We have adopted different cultures also. The world has really become a small place, And the aim of multiculturalism is to now. So when you talk of multiculturalism, definitely there are so many different languages nowadays. Maybe a person staying in India itself, there are so many Indian languages a person knows, and apart from that, he knows French, he knows Spanish, he knows German. There are people who have learned foreign languages, and people who stay in America, maybe people need to learn Chinese also, because nowadays China is making its presence felt everywhere. So we need to learn Chinese also. So it is multilingualism also. Okay. So the aim of multiculturalism is to facilitate acquisition of the attitude. So when you are there with so many cultures, as far as language is concerned, because everybody mingles, everybody has incorporated one another's cultures. So it is a dynamic world, changing world, accepting so many things. So it is all multiculturalism. Now, what is a Creole? Now, Creole, a person of mixed. Now, this we can use this expression for so many other people. Just need to write the plot. You can take it from here, and we'll move ahead so that when I do the synopsis, automatically you understand the plot. So now we begin with the Mistress of Spices. Now, the story, if you have read the novel, The Palace of Illusions, you must be familiar with her. It's full of mystical turns and magical spells. And Chitra, and observe that she doesn't give the impression that she's trying to explain the stand of women here. Many a times we feel that is it fine? She's not setting the standards of womanhood set by men for men. They sought to redefine themselves by their own standards or to reorder the society. She doesn't want to play the stereotype. One is suffering. Stereotype means every time whenever we talk about Indian women, it is always we are talking of sacrificing mothers, complaining wives, or a docile daughter. She just wants to find remedial capsules for the suffering people surrounded by her. Now, let us move on. I'll just tell you the gist of the story, because until and unless you know what is there in the novel, we cannot talk about the themes, we cannot talk about the characters over here. So, the story is also very interesting. Every detail has a connotation of, so it gives you an inkling to so many things, you know. Each detail, if you try to analyze those details, it will give you insights into so many things. For example, the name of the character, why that name of the character was selected, what is the background behind that name, everything is so, what you say, selected with precision, because it is why it is apt. And we'll talk about the characters, characterization, if we get time, but let me tell you the story first. It's very interesting. So Tilo, she is the protagonist of the novel. She was born in a lower class family as a third girl child, and was felt, she was felt as a burden. As it is, we know that in India, if it is a girl child, she is a burden. Nowadays, things have changed. But and she was felt burdened by her parents as another dowry debt. As the cows run dry at the time of her birth, she was fed with the milk of ass, which helped her in getting their sight and words sooner than others. So see, if you know, there is, we say that if four doors close, there is always a fifth door which opens for you. So something good is in store for you. If even in crisis, even in times of when we say that yes, we are so unfortunate, but we should always look out for things for which we are fortunate. So here also, you know, though she was neglected by her parents, but she found that she has some powers in her. So she says that though she was neglected by her parents, and she led a very careless life, and when she was born, she was named Nayantara. Now, after this, now when you say Nayantara also, there are so many things which are attached to Nayantara. So it is the star of the Nayantara. So Nayan is related to the eyes. So the star of the eye, then it means the star seer also. Person, star seer, then and it is Nayantara also means the flower that grows by the dust road. So you see, one thing has many meanings, different meanings. However, when she realized her unknown powers and helped the villagers in solving their problems and finding their lost things, she was given luxurious presents as a matter of gratitude, and her household won recognition. So see, she was looked down upon, but then because of her powers, supernatural powers, we can say, so she had these powers, and she could tell what is going to happen in somebody's life. She could tell the future, and she had these unknown powers, and because of which the villagers gave her presents. She was like respected, and therefore her family also got recognition. A girl who was once neglected was now chosen to be the best. Now, once she was last for anything, but now she was the first for everything. Even the family members enjoyed the luxury life brought by the fame of her exotic powers. She too had grown proud and willful, but this does not last long. Her fame spreads far and wide. By her powers, she can draw to her whoever she wishes, and her fame spreads far and wide. By her powers, she can draw to her whoever she wishes, and a lover to her side or an enemy to her feet. But when used imperfectly and without control, it can bring destruction beyond imagination. So see, this is also, if we have something with us, it comes with so many tags, you know, it comes with so many ifs and buts. So if you do this, this will happen. If you have this part, still you have these limitations. But when she was a child when she was she was feeling bored, discontent, what did she do? She sent a calling thought with a gold hook over the waters, by which pirates in search of her came there, and they took her away, killing her parents and destroying the village with fire. So see, because of her past, she summoned the pirates. She But again, what happened? She used her powers, but see what happened? The pirates took her, and what happened? The family, it was destroyed. Her parents died, and see at what cost she suffered. Then only she learned the truth that the spell is greater than the spell maker. Once unleashed, it cannot be countered. So for some years, she lived as a queen of pirates, bringing of death and luck. So as a pirate queen, she reviews her life and she wants to know her longing, and she's satisfied with that. Now she's the mistress. She's there. She's the queen of pirates, but she's more. So she wants to know her longing, and then she again sends a calling thought over. Serpents are the oldest creatures and the dearest to Earth Mother. They have perfected the art of people over there, new mistresses, new maidens over there. And when the old mother took her hands into hers, they were too hot and damp. Though they were not suitable hand spices, sang back to her, she did not rebel. So now she goes to this island, but when she opens her eyes, she does not remember her past. Now here, under the guidance of the first first mother, she gives her options to choose, but she has decided that she should be called Tilotama. Again, Tilotama has also different meanings, and what she liked most is that it means life giver. Tilotama is life giver. It is restorer of health and hope. So Tilu is the sesame, we call it til. So Tilu is the sesame seed of which the flower is so small and straight that mothers pray for their children to have a nose shaped like it. So it is golden brown in color under the sway of planet Venus. So til, and when it is grounded into paste with sandalwood, it cures diseases of heart and liver. So when fried, now see, so til has so many medicinal properties. So when it is fried in its own oil, it restores luster. And when one has lost interest in their life, so this til oil, it rejuvenates that person. So Tilotama is the most, again, there are some mythical here connotations also. Tilotama is the most beautiful Apsara in the court of God Indra. So she's the most elegant of all dancers, and she was jeweled among women. She being the chief dancer of Indra's court, she was warned never to give her love to any man, but only to dance. But when she disobeyed, she was banished to live on earth, and 7 lives of mortal, facing illness and age, twisted limbs and limbs, and even people turning in disgust from her. So this is what happened to Tilotama in Indra's, Swarga or heaven. But here, this Tilotama says that, yes, I will not do that mistake which that Tilotama did. So here she found, she made friends with other people. Now I'll skip that because we are falling short of time. Actually, Kapil sir, how much time do I have? Kapil sir?
Yeah, ma'am.
How much time do I have?
Well, another half an hour.
Okay, because then, so I'll move fast then. So here we have her friends, Aprajita. So even the names are the names of flowers, the names of seeds, okay? So she, Aprajita. Now, Aprajita is a flower whose juice, when smeared on eyelids, leads to victory. So, so this is how Chitra Divakurani has, with consideration, selected each and every name. And I'll just arouse your curiosity so that you will read the whole novel. So we were talking about Tilotama and her new friends. And here Tilotama now, she says that, yes, I want this name, but I will not make the mistake which Tilotama, the dancer in Indra's court, had committed. So along with the other things, now what happens, the mistress learned certain common things such as sweeping, stitching, rolling wicks for lamps. There were so many things which were taught there on that island by that first mother. And now once they were trained, they even learned to feel without words the sorrow of other sisters. So slowly now they are trained to learn about the emotions of other people. So now they understand the sorrows of other sisters. Then to console them without words, they understand that without speaking also, how they can communicate so many things. The life of mistresses would be full of exotic, mystery, drama, and danger. So once in a great while, if a mistress grows rebellious, and so now there are, certain rules for mistresses. You will be gifted with so many things, but you have to forego so many things. You have to sacrifice so many things. So now here, once in a great while, if the mistress grows rebellious, what will happen? As if they are self-indulgent, if they fail in their duties, then that mistress, she must be recalled. So she will be recalled to that island. And warning is sent to her, and she would have only 3 days to settle her affairs. Then Shampati's fire blazes for her once again. But this time, while entering the fire, one would feel it fully scorchy and fierce. We'll come to know how the mistresses are trained, and once the mistresses who are there on these islands, once they are trained, they are sent to different countries where they settle, and they do their duties. Now, what are their duties? We'll come to know. So, and before they go there, they have to enter this Champati's fire, and from after they, but they don't. Yes, they don't get burnt. Yes, because of the powers. But if once they go to their respective countries and once they misuse their powers, they are sent back to this island and they have to go through this fire again. But this time they are scorched. So this is the punishment they get. So they have to be very careful. Soon after the training, now after this training was over, the first mother, she offered to choose the palaces to settle themselves. Now Tilo chooses Oakland. So now our heroine, our protagonist, she selects Oakland. And the old mother warns her against it and offers to choose another place. But Tilo, she insists on the same first mother, and she says she wants to go to Oakland only. Okay, then she goes to Oakland. She's sent to Oakland, and when she's about to leave for Oakland, the first mother, she what does she do? She places a slice of ginger root to give her heart steadfastness and to keep her strong in her vows. So see what is the importance of ginger. For every activity, there is some spice attached here. The spice gives the meaning and the medicinal qualities it has. And even the protagonist, whenever she meets a person, she understands the emotions of that person. She tries to help that person by giving the spice so that that person can be healed. Now, but here, there is one condition. Yes, that once she becomes the mistress and when she's sent to Oakland in America, there is one condition, that she will not remain young. She will be converted into an old woman. So as she's sent to Oakland, she realizes now that she has become old, and she lands in a store of spices. Now this store, the store of spices, which is, she opens her eyes and she's in this store, and the store also looks very, very old, with all these spices. And she feels that she has been staying here since many, many years, and even the people who come and people who visit her store, they also feel that she has been staying in this place for since such a long time. So in each chapter in this novel, it is named after a spice, which reveals their powers and their origins, and thus making the novel very interesting to the reader to continue without postponing. In the chapters, she deals with different problems faced by women and even found a solution for them, healing them with the help of spices. So now Indian origin people, they come to her, and then she understands their problems, and for every problem she has a spice, and she gives them the spice and tries to help them. She just doesn't want needs for physical satisfaction or ailments, but for emotional satisfaction, and ultimately she leads to spiritual contentment. Okay, but the first mother had told her not to get emotionally attached. Okay, she's there to give solutions, but she should not get emotionally attached. Now, people who are disturbed in the society, people who suffer from alienation and isolation, who suffer with the internal struggle, they ensure to come to terms with this daily. Now, the painful process of resolving the conflict within themselves, many times difficult, and for them, she is human goddess to resolve their problems. Now, even Tilo, now she's Tilu, and she runs the grocery shop there. She runs, she takes care of the problems of these people. And in spite of her limitations and grounded promises, she is the caretaker of human problems and their ups and downs. Many a time she breaks her promises. She cannot, when she has been told that she will have to stay in the store only. She cannot move out of the store. She will have to stay in the store, but she cannot resist, because she has that feeling to help her fellow, countrymen and people who are in need. And so she steps off. She bends her, rules. She bends the rules, and then she later on she has to suffer punishment also. We'll come to know. Now there are some spices also. They are mentioned here. Every chapter is has been named after a spice, and the importance of that spice is given. So turmeric, for example, also known as halad, meaning yellow color or daybreak, corals and shell. Corals and shell sound is used as a shield for the heart sorrow. It is an ointment for death and hope for rebirth also. So it is placed on the heads of newborn for luck. So yellow halad, that is turmeric, is placed. So they are talking about the importance of turmeric. It is sprinkled over coconuts at puja. It is rubbed onto the borders of the new and even wedding saris. So, these are the small details Divakurani has given, so that we come to know that she has not forgotten. She has carried with herself the traditions, the Indian traditions, and she talks of Indian traditions, and there is a gelling of Indian traditions with the Western. So she talks of cinnamon, dalchini. So dalchini, what is dalchini? It is a friend maker, and it is a destroyer of enemies. So whoever has a lot of enemies and people who are in trouble, then she gives them dalchini. So, she has a problem. So I'll not go into details now, because she has given the importance of turmeric, dhania, amchur, mahamul, tulsi, all these, black pepper, fenugreek. Every spice has its own importance, like, for example, black pepper is boiled and drunk to loosen the throat and learn to say no. If people cannot say no, there are people who always give in. They fall into other people's traps because they cannot say no. So, it is a mixture of it is a mixture of myth. It is all magical. You are totally into a different realm, because you feel whether really such things happen. So she takes you to a magic land. She takes you to a magical world wherein, because, people want to forget their worries. So she takes you to a land where you find things happening which you have dreamt. So, whatever she feels that, yes, I want to do, I don't want to be, a wife, which is a wife who will always stay at home. I want freedom. I want to dictate. I want to rule. I want to be the mistress. So, all these things, even if people have gone from India to the other countries, still people feel that they carry with them all these things. There also, they are suffering there also. There. So to come out of these, now here, if we get a spice, so if you have something which will help you to regain that confidence and come out. So fennel she talks about fennel also, the importance of fennel. It is as brown as mud and dark. And fennel, when taken, a pinch of it, raw and whole, after every meal, it freshens the breath and helps digestion. It gives mental strength for what must be done. It even cools the temper, and it is a spice to digest sorrows and make strong. So, there are medicinal properties, there are psychological things also connected with these spices. So, there are many, for every spice, such details have been given. And here, mistresses are not allowed to learn about the usage of red chilies. Now, red chilies are very important, but every now and then, like it cannot be used uh, like any time. Only at specific occasions only red chilies would be used until the third level of apprentice. No, like if a mistress is learning her the the secrets of the spices, they cannot use it at the what you say at the beginning level, at the first level of their learning. Okay, so now there are in this novel there are characters. We'll talk about Lalita, Harun, Jagjit, Kwesi, Geeta. All these people, they come to uh, this Tilu's store. They come to her store, and she helps them. She helps all of these people, and how she helps them, how she gives them spices to cure. So I'll take one or two, and we'll move ahead. So Lalita, who is Ahuja's wife, before her marriage, she hopes to have a shop of her own. But Lalita tailor works. She wants a shop of her own. As the cloth she touches with the needle blooms, and most of all, she wants a baby to make everything right for her feelings. So this is what she wants. So when she goes up for a checkup and found everything right with her, she requests her husband too for the checkup, who in turn beats her mercilessly, with which Lalita gets fed up, and with the help of a helpline found in a magazine, she gets over from there, and taking her things and the jewelry, she decides not to go back to him. To America when rebels broke out in their place, and for some days he worked under Kapadia, but luckily found another Kashmiri who helped him to become owner of his cab. It is for him the mistress breaks some rules which drives her to destruction. So all these people have come to US, have come to this place, San Francisco, to Oakland, and here they land into trouble, and they come to her store, and she helps them. She helps them with these spices, and she helps them to set things right. So, and we move on. That though many a times, what happens when she goes out of there? Many a times it happens that the spices which she has given, the spice which she has given, what happens that she gives the example of Jagjit, that she was, tempted to give. Jagjit is a very shy boy, and he is bullied by his friends in the school. But what happens? She gives him a spice, and totally opposite thing happens. She wants to make this person strong, but instead of making now this person Jagdish becomes strong, but he converts into Jag. Instead from Jagjit, he becomes Jag. So he himself becomes, he converts into a very, what you say, unruly person, arrogant person. So it can have different effects also. So now here Divakurani makes this novel romantic also, with the introduction of the character, the lonely American, and as Tilu calls him, a lonely American. He usually comes on Friday evenings. He wears black colored pants and a plain black expensive leather jackets. All description is given. He wears black. Now again, there are connotations with black also. And he's a lonely American. He doesn't talk. There are reasons why he doesn't talk. And she is attracted to him. And the time when she first met him, the real nature of a woman who is revealed, she is very much attracted to him. Up till now, she did not feel that sense of womanhood. She was an old mistress, catering to the needs of the society. But now, looking at this American, she gets that feeling of womanhood in her, and she's attracted to him. And though she was warned by the spices, she likes to have him losing control over herself and even the spices. The spices in this book, they are also personified. They talk, they admonish her, they scold her, they give her warning. And, so they are also personified. So we have, what you say, metaphorical elements here. As far as the spices are concerned, they are given characteristics. And but in detail, if we need to talk, it will take another period. So, So now she gets interested in this American, but as you know, that it is a rule that she cannot fall in love, and she cannot like become very emotional. And if she touches somebody, if she touches anybody else's skin, then maybe she will lose her powers. Okay. So up till now, she was maintaining all this, but she falls in love with um, it is, so she falls in love with this American. And so when this now she always waits for him and enjoys his company as a natural girl. So when asked by Tilo, the American recollects his childhood and he tells him about his native land, how his mother used to maintain everything clean and neat, how she loved him, and so on. He considers everything about his mother was so good, and even her name, Sisteline. Only later, when he realizes that everything along with her name is fake, he hates her like anything. So, till that time, he believed himself to be a true American, but now he realizes that he is not a true American and his name is Revan. He feels that they are responsible for his grandfather's death, and from then onwards, he always feels hurting, confused, and angry. There are certain things he feels that his mother has kept from him. She has not revealed so many things about his origin, about his. So when he comes to know about his origin, he feels hurt that he was not told about it in the beginning. So we come to know about every now and then we are talking about loss of identity. Every person is in search of his identity. All the characters here are in search of their identity. As a mistress should not touch others, but Tilo, now she has crossed this rule many a times. Once she touched Lalit. Now what happens? Tilotima, she is, very emotional. And I told you in the beginning also, so she bends these rules. She has touched people. She has touched Lalita, and she has helped Harun also. And she tries many a times to offer Kalojira to protect Kalojiro. So that is black, Jira is cumin seed. So Kalojiro, she has given Kalojiro to protect Harun from the evil eyes, but every time she fails. So one night when Harun found the American in the store and asked Tilu to send him away, Tilu rejects, saying that she can take care of herself. From then, she fails to meet Harun. So every now and then, though, every now and then she goes out of the way to help the characters. And the first mother, she appears and she keeps on giving warning to Tilo that if you try to help the outside people, and so what will happen is then you will lose your powers. So so she keeps a control over herself, and but when she keeps on doing this, what happens is now the spices tell her that you have bent the rules and now you have only 3 days. As you know, earlier also, all the mistresses were warned that if they bend the rules, they will have to go back to the island. So now she has only 3 days left with her. So what she does is whatever spices she has in the store, she organizes a sale and she sells off everything. And then she makes a fire and she lights the fire, but then she realizes that she is she's not burned. Why? Because she leaves her love, she leaves Ravan, because she realizes that every now and then she has to choose. So here also she has to choose whether she will go with Ravan or whether she wants to lead the life of a mistress. But she feels that yes, for some time she was overcome with that feeling of that youth, of that womanhood, to enjoy the sexual pleasures. But she realizes that more than that, what is more important is helping others, sacrificing. So though we are talking of spices, but here this is how the Indian women are. They talk about sacrifices when it comes to making a choice between their own pleasure and between duty, they always select duty. So, you at the background, these are the things which are happening. So she chooses duty, and she comes back, and she tells, actually she goes with Raven. She wants to leave this coast. She is in search of an earthly paradise, but she realizes that there is no such place called as earthly paradise. Again, we know that earthly paradise, it is in our minds. If you are happy, if you are satisfied, that is your earthly paradise. And she leaves Haroon and she comes to her place, but then there is an earthquake, and even Raven is afraid what might have happened to this Tilo. He comes in search of Tilo, and he finds that yes, that earthquake, she is safe, and even the spices. She feels that now she has lost all her powers, but she is no more an old lady now. She is not a mistress now. She is what you say, a normal being, and she's not punished also by the spices and by the first mother. She's not punished. Why she's not punished? Because she has made her choice. She has not she has not gone after emotions, but she has selected her duty. So she does not get that punishment. So this is in short about the what you say about the novel. I have rushed, but unless and until you come to know a little about the spices, about the, there are so many characters about the characters whom we need to speak, because until and unless you speak about the characters, you don't know about the know how they are alienated, and how they feel a sense of what you say, loss of identity. But in short, we'll talk about the themes here. How we'll talk about immigrant experience, that is loss of identity. Everywhere we've talked about this, but here there are five themes. There are so many. If you get an insight, you will find that she has touched on so many aspects. There is immigrant experience, loss of identity. Then there is alienation. There is exotism. Then there are all these women in distress. How they come out of their distress. That is also what she has told. And magic, realism, myth, and culture. This is also one of the important themes. You need to talk on immigrant experience also, alienation, exotism. I know I don't have much time, but we'll talk about immigrant experience. So here, Divakurani, she writes and unites people, and she does this by destroying myths and stereotypes. She breaks down these barriers. She dissolves boundaries between people of different backgrounds. Now here also, in this Oakland, we see that there is a Black person also there. So there are people from different backgrounds, communities, different ages, and even different worlds. So Divakurani's writing often centers around the lives of immigrant women also. So here she has talked more about the immigrant women and their problems. We feel that we have problems here in our country, in India, but do these people who have migrated to maybe UK, US, in forward countries, do you find in the developed countries also, are these women suffering the same problems? So her interest in women began after she left India, and at which point she came in to reevaluate the treatment of women there. And she writes about the abuse, the courage of immigrant women. She shows the experiences and struggles involved in immigrant people trying to find their own identities. Now, Divakurani's writings, it deals with the rootless and restless lives of Indians living abroad. Human relations and inner feelings, they find no place in foreign land. Divakurani's themes are unmistakably Indian, and the problems are also Indian. Now, her novel is also an exploration of own identity, a study of self-awareness. It is also a daring attempt to fuse the cultural heritage of the people into the socio-political realities centered around the life. She deals with the immigrant experience, the immigrant's voice, which is rarely heard. In the Mistress of Spices, now here the Tilo she's a magical figure. She runs a grocery store, uses spices to help the customers. She provides spices. Now here she provides spices not only for cooking, But but also for if people are feeling homesick, alienated, she gives them these spices to overcome their feeling of alienation. Okay, so Tilu has disguises, names that reveal her multiple identities. So first she has a name Nayantara. Then when the pirates take her, she's given the name of she's given another name, and then the serpents call her Sarpakanya. Then she gets Tilotama. Then again, so many names again, different names suggest loss of identity. Every now and then she's taking a different name. In the end, also she's given a name Maya. Again, illusion. So it is all related to loss of identity. Then now we'll talk about the other theme, alienation. So alienation, why? Because people feel alienated in this foreign land. Now, what do you mean by alienation? It is a literary genre which articulates the pain of negligence and seclusion from the society. This is called alienation. So here also, the people who have moved from India to that place, to Oakland, they also feel secluded, they also feel alienated. And why secluded and alienated? Because everything is foreign. And this theme is quite common among the modern writers. Most of them have written, because this might be due to the authors. There are many diasporic writers who have written about their attachment to their native land. Why? Because this might be due to the author's settlement away from their homeland, where the readers could fathom out the intense love and admiration towards their home country. So here, Chitra Divakurani is a diasporic fiction writer, and she writes about her homeland. You know, people feel nostalgic when they write about their homeland, and it is another significant reason is to utilize the platform for writing to introduce the traditions of their native soil. Here also she is making people acquainted. She tells people about the importance of spices. India was known for spices, and people used to come to India for spices. So she takes help of this myth or these importance given to spices, and she has woven a story around them. So the rational thoughts and the visionary desires of the authors are made available through such mediums like the novels. And even complex concepts like exotism, alienation can reach people through such print media. So through such novels, people can understand the feelings, the problem of alienation. So this theme of isolation, it is a shadow of reality, which has been encountered almost by every individual who tries to settle down in a distant land of unfamiliarity. So if it is an unfamiliar land, so, you know, it is a feeling of solitude, insecurity. So, it is the lives, the roles, and the dreams of immigrants experiences. They experience drastic changes once they decide to move to a new country in which the culture, the people, and the habits are entirely different from their motherland. So this author, she dramatically displays the challenges that the immigrant community is facing in America. Now, when we talk of exotism, so exotism and alienation have an interrelationship with the content of the novel, which highlights the unfamiliarity and the strangeness of America. So exotism, going into the world which you don't know, it is an attraction for the unexplored. You are attracted, you don't know what is in store in America, but you are attracted towards America. You feel, yes, you want to enjoy that life over there, but once you go there, you understand the other side of the things. So here, now there are Harun, for example, his attraction towards the sparkling life of America is the reason for him to leave his own country. But the bitter experiences in his life, they stop him from getting along with others around Oakland. So when he goes there, again, he gets bitter experiences in America, and he finds himself isolated. Okay, so there are there are all these characters, they feel this sense of isolation. So now, and we'll talk about women in distress now. Now there are there are many women characters, but these women characters, Chitra Divakurani speaks about most of the women in distress, people who have problems. Most of the characters, like Ahuja's wife, she has a problem. Then Geeta, she is born and brought up there, but her parents are are of Indian origin. So there is a generation gap. There is because of her upbringing in America, she has a total, different thinking than her parents. Then there are again problems because parents are of Indian origin. They have moved on, but the children who are born over there, their thinking is totally different. And then the problems which people have to face there, all these things have been narrated through the different characters in the novel. So Geeta, I told you, she was able to succeed in her deeds because she equipped herself well to meet her needs when compared to Lalita. Now, Lalita was not able to adjust herself to the surroundings, but Geeta, she was able to adapt, learn fast and adapt. So therefore, different women characters are displayed in this novel. And again, one thing which I would like to read out here a little bit is now Divakurani, Chitra Divakurani, she talks about marriages which are reflected to her writings. Now, what does she write about marriages? She, a woman watching through her barred window, a world beyond her reach, while on her forehead, the marriage, the sindoor presses down like a coin of blood. So see, I just wanted to read these few lines to show the situation of women. Every woman has a sense of a longing for this independence, freedom. But what happens once you are married? In India, what happens when a person is married? So women have better understanding of their own community. That's why the feministic writers are most welcome for the empathetic style of writing. So so this is about women in distress. And if you talk about magic realism, I'm just rushing. I don't think I've done justice to it because I have to talk about so many things in detail. So now, as I have told you the story about the spices, about the magic world, about the magic island, so you feel as if you are totally in a different realm. So this is what is called it is magic which transforms you. The magic. Now, this Mistress of Spices, she has moved to another land. So here, see, she also has gone to another land, but she is the mistress. So this is what the women feel, that once they leave India, when they go to a foreign land, when they go to foreign places, like when they go to places like US, they feel that these are developed countries, so the situation will be different. They will be given freedom. They will have freedom, but still, you feel that they have to undergo so much of they have to they have to sacrifice so many things, and again every now and then they have to make the choices. So the situation is not different, but here through this Mistress of Spices, a person can make her own presence felt. The person can come out of the shell, which is revealed through the role of the protagonist, through the role of Tilu over here. So it is magic realism. Magic transforms you. In the world of magic, you get answers to your problems. So this is a fairy tale sort of a thing. You must have, while I was narrating the story, you must have felt what is she telling. But when you are taken to a magic island, or when in the dream, you get solutions to so many problems. You understand so many things. You set things right in your dreams, So like what happens when you watch a movie? When you are watching a movie, there is what you say, relieving of your fears, and you overcome your emotions, and you are again ready to face back your real life. So all these transformations are shown in this novel. So the major theme in this work, also revolves around magic, realism, myth, and culture. Now, she effectively brings out the themes through her characters in the novel. Now, through this, Divakurani tries to bring out the problems of immigrants who suffer a lot at one point. They become bold enough. So they are suffering. But now, here, see, she has given them spices. So, in another way, so it is that they have to become bold to face the obstacles in their way. And Divakurani herself, she has confessed that she says this is an autobiographical novel. She has spoken about her own self. She says, I have to live with a hybrid identity. In many ways, I am an Indian, but living in America for 19 years has taught me many things. It has helped me to look at both cultures, both clearly. It has taught me to observe, question, explore, and evaluate. So she has used dream as a technique here to project the magical elements in her novel. She restores the long forgotten Indian myth, belief, tradition, and culture. So, with these importance of spices, we are transported to our tradition, to our culture, and people in America who must have forgotten their culture, they reading her novel, they go back and understand. They get an understanding of their mythology. Through the mythological references in her novels, it is evident that she has a sound knowledge in myth. According to Divakurani, myth symbolizes the feminine world where women rescue other women without expecting support from men. So, Miss Spices. Now, this world is women's world. Okay, so therefore, she wants to find out solutions for women only. Magic realism helps to enrich the ideas of what is real through imagination as expressed in magic. Just now I told you how you can set things right in your dreams. Okay, so that's why she has taken us on a fairy. This is a fairy tale, and to discover what is mysterious in things, in life, and in human acts. The magical elements in her novel, they bring out the fact that it has a link with psychology. Now, Chitra Divakurani's first novel, this is her first novel, Mistress of Spices is her first novel. It was written in 1997. It is unique. It is written with a blend of prose and poetry, and she has employed everywhere magic realism. She is writing the script of women's rebellion against the pressure to suppress their desire and their bodies. So they have to, everywhere we find that women have to suppress their desires. So the order of mistress clearly replicates patriarchal struggle, and Tilu must be made to break free of them. So she struggles with her own passions as she builds emotional relationships with the Native American Raven, and whom she calls Raven, and she transforms herself into a woman, feeling guilty herself. When she gets involved, see, she feels guilty. So when women get involved, they feel guilty. But then she decides to brave the retribution, and she would have to face. So magic realism in the novel is explicitly revealed when Tilu, the mistress of spices, speaks about her physique as an oxymoron to young lady in old woman's form. So even her own customers don't know about her youth, her ability of having magical powers. So, so this speaks about, we live with a person, we live with our wife. A husband might be living with a wife, but doesn't know the true characteristics of the qualities the wife might be possessing. So they do not. Divakurani brings home the point that the spices have some magical powers to speak to Tilo. So here they are. The spices are also, I told you, they are personified. The falling thought is one of the components of magic realism, which is effectively used in this novel. So whenever Tilo was in trouble, she would talk to the old one from whom she learned the power of spices. So all this is magic. You talk to spices, you talk to people from different island. So Tilu was in trouble. Whenever she was in trouble, she used to talk to that first mother, and from whom she learned the power of spices. And she tells about the power of calling thought. So the old woman talks about the calling thought. Okay, so the calling thought can draw to you whoever you desire, a lover to your side, an enemy to your feet, which can lift a soul out of a human body. So now we talk of laws of attraction also. In secret, yeah, in Rhonda Byrne's Secret, we talk of laws of attraction. Whatever, if you think about, if you have thoughts about a certain particular thing, and if you desire it, what you say, very earnestly, so you will get that thing. Yes, so that is the law of attraction. So here it is, she talks about these calling thoughts, and whatever you desire, you get. So, and then Chitra Divakurani uses magical realism in her works. She's fond of using myth. When Tilu mentioned about the Kalojiro, it was referred with Hindu mythology as Ketu, in one of the 9 planets in astrology. So we called Ketu dark planet. She uses so many references to different mythological things here. Tilotima itself, the word I told you, Til, and it talks about the dancer in Indra's court. So all these things she brings in so many mythological things here. Tilu gets astonished, feeling at her beauty, and then she's beautiful with the spices. She becomes beautiful. She enjoys her beauty, but this is also this comes out from the story that she has always to make decisions. Yes, she can become young. She has that opportunity. She can become young, but then she will have to forgo her powers. So if she wants those powers, she will have to sacrifice. So every now and then, that I told you that if you want to get this, you will have to sacrifice this. So she makes this decision. Thus, magic realism is extremely serious in her works, and it contains about art, culture, human nature also. And myth and culture is clothed in magic realism. It has some traditional values also. Superstition, archetypes, they play a great role in magic. And in this type of writing, they give out a new dimension of reality. So in literature, magic realism is fusion between physical reality and psychological reality. It incorporates thoughts, emotions, dreams, cultural mythologies, and imagination. So students, actually, we can go on talking about the mythological elements here, and it is all connected to psychological things also. All the spices, there are spices to enliven your mood also, to change your mood also. There are certain things which will make you, which will like put you down. If you have too much of ginger, if you have too much of certain spices, they have a different, they will have digestion problems, they will put you down also. So there are different effects of the spices, and they connote that when you talk about the mistress of spices, you talk of the power which you have, the power which you can bestow, the power with which you can control the emotions of others, where you can really become the mistress, where you can really get your freedom, make your presence felt, get your identity. So all these things are incorporated, and they are brought out in this. All these touch all these themes related to immigration, alienation, exotism. There are women in distress and magic realism. So here I think we'll stop. If given another opportunity sometime else, we can go ahead. And thank you very much, Kapil sir, for giving this opportunity. And I think I have taken a lot of time, but this was a very, there was many aspects to this novel. So doing justice was really, it demanded a lot of time also.
Yeah, I know it is really tough to cover a novel or a drama in an hour, but
and as far as when you talk of
as well as the other sessions,
Yeah, magic
Yeah.
realism, when you talk of magic realism, then again there are double things which you have to talk about parallelly. So
Yeah.
it takes time.
But well, you have covered everything, ma'am, almost right from the beginning, giving the meaning of diaspora and then the topics which are there for the background study. That is what you have started. You had started with. Then there was the plot of the novel that the students should make a point to go through it once. They should read it once. That will make the story more clear to them. Then ma'am gave us background, a short biographical background on the life of or on the works of Chitra Diva Kurani. Then the different topics that should be analyzed in this novel, that is the use of myth and magic, that is one thing. Then the deconstruction of gender, which is prevalent in the society, the type of gender division that we have in this society and the way the different the responsibilities are assigned. So that is what she told us. Then after that, ma'am came to the story of the novel, and in the end we were introduced to the different themes that exist in this novel. So ma'am has covered everything which is important from the examination point of view, from the preparation point of view of exam. But of course, it is the students who should go through the story, the plot of the novel. And on behalf of the organizers and on behalf of all the people who are present here, I thank Madam Dr. Manjushri Sardesh Pandey for this wonderful presentation. And tomorrow, ma'am is organizing a webinar, and on behalf of all the people present here, I would like to extend our best wishes for that. And thank you, ma'am, for making it here in spite of such a busy schedule. And I announce that today's session is over. And as we all are facing the difficult times, and that is why the things got a bit mismanaged today, our resource person for tomorrow's morning session, that is Madam Madhvi Mohril of Rajkumar Keval Ramani Mahila Mahavidyalaya. She too was tested positive, and the good news is that she has been discharged, but she won't be able to engage her class tomorrow in the morning. So we'll be meeting tomorrow in the evening. The session of morning will be held later, that is after 30th of April. So I thank Manjushri Sardesh Pandey Madam once again and announce that today's session is over.
Yeah, thank you. And let me tell the students that there is a movie, it's available on YouTube. If they want to see this movie, Mistress of Spices, there is Aishwarya Rai who plays the role of Tilo, and they'll be in a position to understand the novel better if they see the movie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So students, make it a point to go to